I told my fiancée I don't know why I'm acting weird, but in reality I actually do. We started officially dating when we turned about 16, we had only dated one person each before that and soon into those relationships realized that we did not want to be with anyone other than each other. We have not had any big issues and have just been waiting on a time when we were in a good economic situation to get married. We just got the news that my fiancée is pregnant and due to religious situations from my fiancée's side, we felt like we needed to get married. So far this situation might sound quite normal, but when we announced the marriage and the child to her parents and my mom, we felt so loved and everyone was happy except for my Mill. This felt a bit weird, but my fiancé didn't seem to notice, and I just thought that I had overreacted since we are quite stressed due to the situation of getting married in a hurry and the baby. After that day, my Mill has been asking me to help around the house when we are visiting, and she has begun giving me more compliments and attention. My fiancé still hasn't seemed to notice, and I feel like I'm just overreacting. But about a week ago, my Mill asked if she could give me a shoulder massage and I said yes because I really needed one, and I see her as my second mother and did not think there was anything wrong about it. In the middle of the massage, my Mill started whispering in my ear compliments about how big my muscles had gotten since I was a child and how manly I was, and just as I was going to step up and stop it she kissed me on my neck. I shot up out of the armchair and shouted at her asking what she was even doing, and then she said that she loved me and did not want me to marry her daughter. I got so taken aback by the statement since we have been dating literally forever, and at the time I hadn't really realized that she felt like that, both because I saw her as my extra mother but also since she was my Mill. Now after this happened I started to wonder when this obsession started, and I then realized that she had always been pretty hands-on with me, even bathing me when I was younger and always dressing me, while her daughter didn't really get that treatment and I haven't really thought about that until now. She quickly turned it around on me and threatened to tell her daughter that I had assaulted her if I ever told her what had happened. It shook me to my core and I haven't really been thinking straight ever since. Since it was a week ago now, my fiancé has been asking questions wondering why I've been so weird recently, and I have just told her that I'm just stuck in a rut due to the wedding planning and the baby, but she knows me very well, and I fear that she doesn't believe me anymore. None in my family use Reddit including me and my fiancé, so I'm not really worried about anyone finding out, but some details are left out on purpose in case someone close to me comes across it. I thought about posting here because of those Reddit stories and really thought you could help me since I currently don't know what to do. I am really scared of what will happen if I tell her, since I don't want this to affect me and my fiancé's or my fiancé's parents' relationship, and since I really don't have any material evidence. Update. I talked to my fiancé the morning after posting this, and it actually went quite well. I must have underestimated my fiancé. We planned out and talked about it, and she said that we really should confront her. She was by my side throughout it all and did not doubt me for 1 second. She invited her parents over to our place for dinner today. When they arrived, my fiancé sat her parents down, and she asked her mother why she had behaved that way towards me. Her dad looked confused, her mom got furious and stood up and walked over to the hallway and started leaving. This was not something that I had ever witnessed, even though I lived with them a lot, but I have heard that her mom could have temper tantrums as she describes them. Her dad just sat there. He has always been quite calm and almost somewhat of a pushover, if that is the correct word. I don't want to go into too many details here due to privacy reasons, but we explained to her dad what had happened, and he started to cry. He had suspicions of her cheating since a while back, since they hadn't been as close and hadn't had casual conversations as much as they used to. This messed my fiancé's whole world up and she broke and cried for the first time since I told her about this situation. We are currently not sure if she actually cheated or if it was because of the situation that she had began acting more cold, but that is not really relevant currently since our life has just been turned upside down. Her dad left after some more discussions regarding the situation and some situations that happened when we were younger. My fiancé broke down again after we said goodbye to her dad and she cried until she fell asleep about 1.5 hours ago. I don't think that her dad will stay with her mom, but he wasn't really sure about what to do and I get that. I'm not sure if I will have more updates after this. Our world has been royally screwed and we aren't really sure what to do so that we can move forward about this. I honestly feel quite bad about screwing up so many people's lives, but it does feel good that I have talked to them about it and that I got the support I'm getting. I am also not sure how, if or when I should bring this up to my mother. I feel like she deserves to know also, but I'm not sure if it will pull her down a dark hole again. It feels like she just got out of the one she had been in for all these years. For everyone saying that this is fake, I don't really have anything to prove to strangers on the internet, and I would certainly not use these kinds of situations to get some sort of satisfaction. This subject matter is incredibly horrid and very triggering for some people, and I would not subject anyone to that kind of trauma unless I actually needed support, help or advice. I am just a stranger online also, but I really do thank every one of you who have been sending support, advice, and just good thoughts. It really did help me out so much you can't even imagine. Comment. Up, take some deep breaths. This is not your fault. What can you do? You can suffer in silence. Or you do what you need to do. You tell your fiancée that her mother was gross and inappropriate towards you, and you need to speak your truth. She can believe you. Or not. But I wouldn't stay with her if she doesn't believe me. I can't imagine being in a relationship with the mill hovering around. Just know. It's not your fault the relationship changed. It's her mother's fault. The sooner you tell her the better. Tell her everything, including her mother's threat. Trust that she knows and loves you enough to believe you. You can even suggest that the two of you keep it private and see if Mill learned her lesson or if she tries something again. Obviously don't allow any more back rubs or physical contact. She's already noticed you acting different though, so telling her the truth, even late, might work. Noting that you needed a minute to process what happened along with her threat, you truly didn't know what to do. Because there's likely to be messy fallout from this no matter what. But you can't go on like nothing happened. You've got to tell her. Guaranteed Mill is stressing out that you already have or will tell her. Just to relieve her own anxiety, she will tell her something happened at some point, and by the sound of things it won't be true or pretty. If you're really having a hard time figuring out a way to start, just pull this post up and hand her the phone. She probably won't believe it at first, she may even get defensive. But as you said, she knows you, she will come around. Once that happens, you guys can come together and decide what to do next. If possible, I would definitely try and find a therapist to work with individually and as a couple. There's a ton to unpack there, and it's way above Reddit's pay grade. Good luck. I'm so sorry this is happening to you. I think simply showing your fiancé your post here is a good start. If you cannot find the right words, it speaks for itself. Also, recording her mother if you ever find yourself alone with her again is a smart thing to do. You don't need to immediately, or ever, ask her anything about it. It would simply be for your protection in case she tries it again. If your fiancé knows you well enough to sense something is off about you, just tell her, or show her your post. Keeping such a secret doesn't protect her and will eat away at you over time. You owe it to one another to start your marriage off with no seeds of doubt or potential trust issues. I wish you luck with this. Please post an update if you can. There are many internet strangers out here who care about the outcome. You say you've known your to-be wife your whole life. She knows the relationship you've had with her mother, since she was right there too. She knows how you see her, as an extra mother. You say your fiancé already knows something is clearly bothering you. So I ask, is there any reason you have to believe you can't trust your fiancé to support you? Or that she would not be able to tell when the man she's known her entire life is lying to her? I've been with my wife almost as long as you've known your fiancé. She knows if I'm lying. Because she knows me. How could she not know me after more than 20 years? Your fiancé knows you. She loves you. She trusts you. She wouldn't be marrying you otherwise. So trust your fiancé with this. Trust in your shared history. Trust that she knows you completely. Besides being bloody tragic for you to navigate the situation without your best friend, it would be a disservice to your future wife and your relationship if you were to keep this from her. So talk to her. From there you can make a plan about how to handle her mother. Together. As husband and wife. Next story 2. AITA for how I'm responding to my mill. My husband and I moved to a new state about a year ago. About once every 2 weeks she will send us in a group chat or just me news articles about random stuff that's happening somewhere in the state. Nothing happy or positive, just fearful or negative things like about an alligator attack, a bear spotting, or about a shooting or something else random. None of which are within 6+ hours of us. When a hurricane is coming, she will send us links to the latest reports every few hours even if it's not going to be anywhere near our town. Her son never responds to her. Their relationship is a story for another day. I used to do a thumbs up to things were shared on FB, but that's it because nothing is relevant to us. I then stopped reacting at all, hoping she would see I read it and didn't respond and would stop sending them, but those dots never connected for her. He has asked her to stop sending us and me articles as they are not relevant, and things like alligators eating dogs isn't really something we as dog owners enjoy seeing, but always see it weeks before she sends it anyways. It would also be different if the things were close to our town, but she just sees the state, and even though she knows it's a big state, just thinks things are close. I don't know. So the last few times she has sent me an article, I'll find an article about something similar that happened anywhere in her state and send it back to her. I found it quite funny internally, but also kind of feel like an off for doing it. His sister did the same thing today, and I just so desperately want to find a similar article about something that happened in her state, but I haven't yet. They just send a link without any comment, question, or context. I have no clue what their goals are. Comment. Their goals are to get you fearful of your new state so that you will move back. They want you living close to them. Mute them. If you respond in any way, they win because you read what they sent and responded. So, you need to mute them, change their ringtones to silent so you don't hear the group text, unfollow them on social media, etc. I was going to suggest sending her the same thing back. Instead, send her any festivals or events in her area. Maybe she will start going out and doing things and become too busy to be on FB. Tell her you hope she shares pictures of the flower show at that place or that food competition or food festival. Busy stuff. I don't know if the message app you use has this option, but WhatsApp does have the possibility of muting notifs from specific chats/groups without blocking anyone or without leaving. You can use that if the app you use has it available. We used to have a random relative on my mother's side who sent us the stereotypical, over-the-top, good night, and good morning pictures, and she ended up stopping after we ignored her for a while. Took her months to reach that point though, and no one ever answered to her messages. I don't think you are an off for basically fighting fire with fire. However, I think every response you send them will actually make them send you more articles. I think you would be best off just blocking them both. When they ask husband why they are blocked, he can tell them, truthfully, she blocked you because the articles you send are just filled with negativity and unhappiness and she got tired of reading them. Blocking seems like the most convenient option. If that's not an option, you could bump up the reciprocation. Rapid fire a new dozen articles for a couple hours after each message. I love my dog more than life itself, but since we don't have many alligators in SoCal, I wouldn't worry. In your place, I would call her in a fake panic. Mom, I got your email. Is Rover okay? Did he survive? Rinse, repeat.